around the room you're sitting in right now. Don't move, just use your eyes. Count how many objects you can actually see from where you are. Now here's the strange part. Your brain already noticed every single one of them, even the ones you weren't looking directly at. It's been doing that since the second you walked in, and it hasn't stopped once. Which means your house may already be exhausting you, quietly, before your day has even started. Most homes are built around one question. Does this look good? Does it look expensive, finished, impressive? There's a different kind of home, built around a completely different question. Not what looks the best, but what asks your brain to do the least. Tonight, 15 invisible habits, all pointed at giving your mind its energy back. Stick around for number 5. There's a real study behind it. Actual cortisol, actual blood. Measuring what clutter does to your body while you sleep next to it, without you ever knowing it was happening. Number 3 has an official unit attached to it. One that shows up on every home listing in an entire country. The US has never had a word for it. And number 15? I'm saving that one for the end because it's the quietest habit on this whole list. It doesn't involve cleaning anything, organizing anything, or buying anything at all. But it says more about you than every other habit here combined. Once you notice these, you won't walk into your own house the same way again. Let's get into it. Here's why that room felt heavier than it should, even though nothing in it is actually broken. There's one idea behind almost every habit on this list, so it's worth naming once, right at the start. It's called ma, a single character, man, and it doesn't fully translate. The closest English gets is the meaningful gap, not empty, not missing, a pause, doing a job the same way a chair or a shelf does a job. You've felt this before, even without a word for it. The pause right before the next note in a song lands, that isn't nothing. It's doing something to you. Japanese homes have been built around the exact same instinct for over 1,000 years, in Zen gardens raked into gravel and open space instead of sound, in tea rooms with almost nothing on the walls. Most homes draw a line between furnished and empty. Full room, good. Empty room, unfinished, needs more stuff. This idea draws that line somewhere else entirely. Empty space isn't a waiting room before you buy more furniture. It's already doing its job. Keep that in mind. Every habit on this list comes back to it. Look down at your own feet right now. If you're wearing shoes, ask yourself honestly, what did the bottom of them touch today? You know the answer, roughly. A gas station floor, a parking lot, a public restroom. And most people still walk straight from that surface to the same floor where they eat dinner, without a second thought, every single day. Here's the strange part. It's not really about germs. Wait, it's not even really about dirt. The real problem is that your body never gets a clear signal that it's actually arrived home. There's a home layout built specifically to fix that. A small sunken step at the front door, called a genkan, forces a full stop. Shoes off, step up. A different space begins, on purpose, every single time. The shift. The body doesn't know it's home until it's told. That one step tells it, whether you feel like listening or not. The next habit looks like decoration. It isn't. It's actually deciding what your brain notices first the moment you walk in, and most living rooms get this completely backwards. Imagine someone walks into your living room for the first time. What do you want them to notice first? Most people can't actually answer that, because nothing in the room was chosen. Everything just stayed. A mantle collecting candles nobody lights, photos nobody's looked at in months, a remote for a TV you don't even own anymore. The problem isn't clutter. Wait, it's not even mess. The real problem is that your eyes never get told what matters, so they end up processing all of it, all the time, whether you want them to or not. Some rooms solve this by choosing exactly one thing to notice. A single flower in a narrow vase in one small alcove called a tokonoma. The arrangement even has its own word, ichirin zashi, placing one flower with intention. Nothing else in the room is allowed to compete with it. The shift. A room doesn't need more objects to say something. It needs fewer, arranged like they were actually chosen. Now here's one most people have never once questioned, because nobody ever taught them to ask it. Could your own living room become a bedroom tonight if it had to? Stand in your living room, mentally, right now. Could this room become a bedroom tonight if it absolutely had to? For most American homes, the honest answer is no. The couch is fixed. The TV is fixed. The room only has one job, permanently, whether you need that job today or not. Rooms built for floor seating can change jobs in minutes. Bedroom at night, dining room at breakfast, guest room by evening, because nothing in them is bolted to one purpose. There's even an official unit for measuring them, jo, the size of one floor mat. It shows up on every real estate listing in the country because the room's actual function matters more than its square footage ever does. The shift. A home measured by how many lives one room can hold is a very different home than one measured by square footage nobody's actually using. That's the room itself. The next habit is about everything the room is hiding, and most people have never once asked where all of it actually goes. Quick test. How many things are sitting out on a shelf right now only because nobody ever decided where else they should go? Open shelving looks good in photos. In real life, it means every object on it is a decision your eyes have to make, over and over, every time you walk past. Open shelves aren't your problem. Wait, dust isn't your problem either. The real problem is your eyes never get a day off. Some homes hide almost everything instead behind sliding paper doors called fusuma, inside a deep closet called an oshiire, big enough for a room's worth of things. Slide the doors shut and none of it exists to your eyes anymore. The shift. Out of sight isn't avoidance. Sometimes it's just good editing, applied to a room instead of a film. Those first 4 habits work on what you can see. The next one works on your actual blood chemistry while you sleep at night, and there's a real study behind it. Think about one object you've been meaning to throw away for over a year. Just one. You're probably picturing it already. That's the point. Your brain remembered it before your eyes did. That's how most closets actually work. Not full of things you chose, but things you never quite decided about. The garage fills up. A storage unit gets rented, monthly, for things nobody's touched in years. The closet isn't the problem. Wait, the object isn't the problem either. The real problem is that every unmade decision stays loaded in your head, whether you're looking at it or not. There's a specific practice built around interrupting exactly that. Danshari. Deciding now, on purpose, as an ongoing habit instead of a once-a-year purge. And there are real numbers behind why that matters. Researchers at UCLA studying stress hormones across dozens of households found something concrete. The more a person described their own home as cluttered, the higher their cortisol stayed, all day. Not stress from work, not stress from family conflict, stress from objects, just sitting there, unresolved. Now, honestly, plenty of closets everywhere are just as jammed as yours. This isn't a country where every drawer is a magazine spread, but the standard being aimed at is different. Decide now, not later. The shift. Clutter isn't a mess. It's a stack of unmade decisions, and your brain pays interest on every one of them, every day, whether you're looking at the pile or not. Once a room is lighter, the next two habits change what comes into the house in the first place. One saves you real money, and one you've probably been doing wrong for years without knowing there was a wrong way to do it. Open a drawer in your head, the one with the gift bags in it. How many of them have you actually used more than once? Most homes store single-use solutions like they're permanent ones. Plastic bins for every category of object, bags bought fresh for every birthday, wrapping paper torn once and thrown away. The bags aren't the problem. Wait, the drawer isn't either. The real problem is you're storing throwaway solutions as if they're built to last. One square of cloth, called furoshiki, replaces most of it, wraps a gift, carries groceries, folds flat to nothing the second it's empty. It's the same old discomfort with waste that gives us the word mottainai, just applied to packaging instead of food. The shift. A container that goes from flat to full to flat again takes up no space at all until the exact moment you need it. Could you tell me, right now, without checking your phone, what you actually spent on takeout last week? It's not that you're bad with money. Wait. It's not even that you overspend. The real problem is you can't see it, and your brain treats invisible spending like it isn't really happening at all. There's a century-old fix still sold in ordinary bookstores, the kakeibo, a handwritten household ledger. Before the month starts, you answer a few short questions on paper. Every purchase gets written down by hand in a category in ink. It was invented in 1904, and the format's barely changed since, because it never needed to. The shift. Money stress and money mystery aren't the same problem, but inside your body they feel identical. One of them, it turns out, is solved with a pen. That's the inputs handled. Now the daily reset. The one habit that turns cleaning from something you dread into something you barely register as effort at all. Does the word cleaning make your shoulders drop before you've even started? For a lot of households, cleaning happens in one exhausting block, a Saturday lost to it, dreaded all week in advance. The mess isn't the real problem. Wait, the time isn't either. The real problem is dread. And dread compounds all week long, even on the days you're not cleaning at all. There's a daily version instead, treated less like a chore and more like a practice. Soji. 5 or 10 minutes every single day before anything else. Monks at temples like Eiheiji have swept the same grounds every morning for centuries, not because the floor is dirty, but because the sweeping itself clears something. Pause here for a second. 6 minutes today and 6 hours next Saturday cost you the exact same total time. Only one of them lives in your head as dread for an entire week straight. The shift. A task done for 6 minutes daily and a task done for 6 hours weekly cost you the same amount of time. Only one of them makes you flinch every time you think about it in advance. The next habit looks completely harmless. Most people think it's actually helping them stay organized. It isn't. When did your mattress last actually see sunlight? Most mattresses stay in exactly one place for years. Same spot, same side up, quietly absorbing sweat and humidity night after night. The mattress isn't the problem. Wait, the sheets aren't either. The real problem is that something you use every single day never gets a reset. Futons, by contrast, get carried outside and aired in direct sun and wind, often daily, at minimum a few times a week. It's called hoshibuton, literally airing the futon. Practical, given the humidity, but also the same instinct running through this entire list. What you use daily deserves a reset daily, not once a season when it finally starts to smell like it needs one. The shift. What you sleep on either resets each day or slowly accumulates the day before it. Most people have never once asked their bed to do the first one. Close one eye. Now the other. Look at the nearest corner of the room you're in right now. How many objects are sitting there with no real reason to be exactly there? You don't know, because your brain stopped consciously counting years ago. It never stopped processing, though. The mess isn't the problem. Wait, losing your keys isn't the real problem either. The real problem is the 5 seconds of low-grade panic that happens every single time, whether or not you find them fast. There's a simple fix expressed in a short phrase. Mono ni wa basho ga aru. Everything has its place. Not a place, its place. One fixed spot, decided in advance, returned to immediately, every single time. No junk drawer, no, I'll put it away properly later. The shift. The 5 seconds it takes to find your keys was never the real cost. The real cost is the panic that comes before it, every time, whether you find them quickly or not. The next one has real numbers behind it too, and it might be the most useful fact in this entire video if you've ever stared into a full fridge with absolutely nothing to eat. Open your fridge right now, in your head. How many things in there could you have honestly told me existed before I just asked? The average American fridge is enormous by global standards, restocked in one big weekly haul. Government food waste surveys keep finding the same pattern. A meaningful share of what gets bought never gets eaten. It goes in the back, gets forgotten, and eventually gets thrown out still sealed. The fridge isn't too small. Wait, you don't need a bigger one either. The real problem is a full fridge you can't actually see into. Some households run this in reverse. Smaller fridges, more frequent trips, a small hand basket called a kaimono kago instead of a cart. Buy what today needs, cook it, repeat tomorrow. Entire supermarket chains built their store layouts around exactly that principle decades ago, sized around how much a person could realistically use before it's spoiled, not how much they could be talked into carrying to the register. The shift. A refrigerator that's always completely full isn't proof of abundance. Sometimes it's proof that nothing inside it is actually getting used. The next one has nothing to do with objects at all. It's about the very last thing your eyes see before you fall asleep tonight. What's the actual last thing you look at before your head hits the pillow tonight? Be honest. Is it a screen? Most showers are transactional. Quick, functional, phone within reach the entire time. It's not a transition out of the day. It's just another task squeezed into the day, and the stress rides straight through it into bed with you. The screen isn't really the problem. Wait, the light isn't either. The real problem is your body never gets a clear signal that the working day is actually over. Some evenings are built around a deliberate second step instead, the ofuro, a deep soak, same time each night, nothing else happening. No phone, just heat and a clear ending. If the entryway from earlier was a spatial boundary, this is the same idea felt through time, a threshold, just a later one. The shift. Rest doesn't begin the moment you lie down. It begins the moment your body gets a clear, repeated signal that the day is genuinely finished. Slow down for the next one. It isn't a task at all. It's the whole idea this video's been circling since the very first minute. When was the last time your house was completely silent, on purpose, while you were home and actually awake? Most homes are almost never fully quiet. A television plays in the background even when nobody's watching it. Silence feels like something's missing, so it gets filled immediately, almost without a decision being made at all. The silence isn't the problem. Wait, the noise isn't really the problem either. The real problem is that most homes never give your mind one moment where nothing is asking anything of it. This comes back to Ma, the same idea from the very start of this video, just showing up now in sound instead of a floor plan. The No Theatre master Zayami wrote, centuries ago, that the pause between two claps carries more weight than either clap. The gap wasn't nothing. The gap was the point. The homes that actually restore you aren't the homes with the least stuff in them. They're the homes that ask the least of your attention. Stop here. Let that land. The homes that actually restore you aren't the homes with the least stuff in them. They're the homes that ask the least of your attention. Think about that for a second. How many things inside your own house are asking something from you right now while you're sitting here listening to this? The shift. Silence isn't a gap in the day that needs filling. It's the one part of the day when nothing in the house is asking anything of you at all. The next habit hides inside something you touch every single morning without thinking twice. Honestly, how many things in your closet right now haven't been touched in over a year? Most closets hold every season at once, all competing for the same few inches of rod space. Every morning becomes a small negotiation with clothes that don't even apply to today's weather. The closet isn't too small. Wait, you don't own too many clothes either. The real problem is your closet is asking you to make the same decision 4 seasons at once every single morning. Some homes solve this with a full calendar-based swap called koromogai. Off-season clothes stored away completely, often right back into that same hidden closet from earlier, and only the current season stays in view. Schools and businesses in Japan still observe fixed switchover dates, June 1st and October 1st, like clockwork, every year. The shift. A closet holding 1 season is a decision that's already been made for you. A closet holding 4 seasons at once is 400 small decisions, still waiting. Last one. I promised you at the start it would be the quietest habit on this whole list. It doesn't involve cleaning, storing, or organizing anything at all. Last question, and it's the most personal one on this whole list. Is there something in your house right now that you keep only because you'd feel guilty getting rid of it? Almost everyone has a version of this. A gift you never actually wanted, something inherited you don't have space for, sitting in a drawer purely because throwing it away feels like throwing away the relationship attached to it. The object isn't really the problem. Wait, the space it takes up isn't either. The real problem is guilt, sitting quietly in a drawer disguised as an object. There's a small, specific practice for exactly this moment. Kansha. Saying a direct thank you, out loud or silently, to the object before releasing it. It draws on the old belief that things which served long and faithfully deserve exactly that kind of acknowledgement. You don't throw it away in silence. You thank it. Then you let it go. The shift. Letting go out of guilt and letting go with gratitude look identical from the outside. The object leaves the house either way. Only one of those two actually leaves your body when the object leaves the room. 15 habits is a lot to hold on to, so here's the compressed version. 3 questions. Run your own house through them right now in your head. Question 1. Does this object or task ask something of my attention, or does it just exist quietly on its own? The junk drawer fails that test. The overloaded mantle fails it. The 4-season closet fails it. That's where the line gets drawn first. Not tidy versus messy, but quiet versus demanding. Question 2. Am I storing this, or am I just delaying a decision about it? The rented storage unit fails that test. The overstuffed fridge fails it. The answer is always the same, in 4 words. Decide now, not later. Question 3. If this room could choose, would it choose to stay full, or would it choose to breathe? That's the harmony question. Not, is this technically fine to keep? It's, does this space still have room left to actually rest me? 3 questions, 30 seconds. If any habit on this list fails all 3 at once, that's the first one to look at. Look around the room you're in right now. Out of everything we just walked through, which number hit you hardest? Which of these 15 did you not expect to see on this list? Or the one you already know you've been avoiding? Tell me the number, 1 through 15, in the comments right now. Just the number, that's it. And if any part of this changed how you look at your own house, send it to one person you think needs to hear it more than you do. See you in the next one.